Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. If you are watching, and I mean, you'll probably even be able to tell in just like our spirits.
Mm-hmm. So connected.
Physically. We're touching hands. Your hands are really warm.
That's because they were like...
Oh, in your...
They were
pants.
not in my cooch or in my pants. They were between my thighs, which also doesn't sound any better.
I mean, it's fine. I understand. This is our first official podcast where we are back together physically in person.
Back again.
And Shady's back?
Mm-hmm.
Slim Shady?
Yeah. Ticka.
That's him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Slim Shady. Shady's back. Back
again.
Mm-hmm.
Slim Shady Eminem.
Tell your friends, yes.
That is Eminem.
Guess who's back. Guess who's back.
Got it. And if you are watching on video, there's just something you might notice or see. So, yeah. Gird your loins.
Gird your loins.
And that's the only teaser I think we're going to give.
Yep. If you're on Patreon, you can see it.
Yeah.
If you're part of our Patreon group where you get to see the live shows, you might see it tonight. This will be after.
Oh, I forgot we're doing that tonight too.
We're probably only going to be able to do one episode.
Yeah. What is wrong with me? Well, we also did have kind of just also sat here for like 45 minutes and I played you all of the songs from the playlist Songs That Excite the White Folk.
And as someone that grew up around the white folk, then I knew a lot of them.
And as a member of the white folk, what's a single for folk?
Folk, you can still say
As
folk.
a white folk, I can...
Why are you saying
I'm
it with
excited.
a Midwestern, like...
Folk? I don't know. As I was saying, I was like, this sounds great. Folk.
Yeah, you did it.
It's a weird word. I don't want to think about it too much. Folk.
Yeah, that's fine. Nope.
Okay. No, I don't want to say it again. I'm done. I didn't really give a full intro. This is Don't Blame Me. We are an advice podcast, and we give, you guessed it, advice. Life-changing, fantastic, amazing, wonderful advice. You call in, leave us a voicemail, and we change your life with one dick joke at a time. That's that is the official sound of what a dick, that's what a dick makes. Mm-hmm. That's the sound a dick makes. I'm Megan. You are
Melissa Diamond Montz.
Did you have anybody with, I was going to ask, what are your sister's middle names?
Megan Dion Denise, formerly Montz, now Mayfield, and Melanie D'Angela, formerly Mont's, now Watson. She messed up the M's, whatever.
Wow, that's so. I'm just because I knew you were all MDM,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like I was trying to figure out if they were other like stones, and then I couldn't think of any other ones besides
Not
Diamond.
stones.
Oh, I love it. Your
You know,
parents did a good job.
My mom's a little narcissistic with the last one. D'Angela is.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about it. Angela. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. There's no way I could do that with Megan, but like that, if it works,
And
do
then
it.
Melanie, her last child, also middle name is D'Angela as well.
Hey, continue it on. I mean, men have ever named their son
Yeah.
Junior.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. Record it on your phone. And for both ways of sending in voicemails or voice memos, got to keep it under 3 minutes. We ask that you write it down to prepare what you're going to say, and you can time it out. Make sure you're exactly under 3 minutes. It's really like a long time. It's not hard to stay under.
Not at all.
Got to be 18 or over, have your parents' permission, and let us know your pronouns. What else do we ask?
That's it.
That is it. Yeah, write it down in practice. That's really what we care about. And then you won't forget any important details because we don't need to know if you are a Scorpio unless you have so much extra time. And most likely we don't really need to know.
No. The fun of it was Megan guessing, but now people
Yeah.
are just telling. So it's like, whatever.
And I know nothing about a lot of the other signs.
No.
I just like care. As a Leo, my love of astrology is like myself.
I know about my sign just because it's straight up me.
Mhm.
And then yours because of you.
Because
and
I talk
then
about myself.
Capricorn because of you, because you talk about Mott.
Well, I guess we can get into the first one. This is so exciting to be in person.
I know.
I'm just going to stare at you all the time.
Oh my gosh. Let's get into the update.
So I originally called because I had questions on whether or not I should tell my guy best friend that I still had feelings for him after we took a trip, like a solo trip together. And I listened to the call again before this just to see like what I said and what y'all said. And I ended up like the day that it came out and I heard the advice, I was like, okay, I got to tell him I got to do it. Like I'm going to like blow up my life right now. And then I told my friends about it and they're like, okay, just like wait a day, see how you feel in the morning, like how you feel about it. And so the next day, I still felt the same way. I was like, I got to say something. So I took the advice of telling him, but also like saying that I was going to take a break from the like relationship. And I really liked that because it made me like, it didn't make me feel as vulnerable. Like it kind of made me feel empowered because I was like, I'm still like in control of this situation. And I don't know what I was expecting, but he took it better than what I was expecting. He was just like, okay, like I understand, you know, stuff like that. So the update, more of that is, so we didn't talk for a couple of weeks. And then I like muted him off of social media. I took him off of my private Snapchat story. I deleted our text thread. Like I did everything. And then he messaged me on the day of my graduation and just said like, congratulations. Like, I'm so proud of you, all that stuff for like graduating. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like it was really short conversation. And then I moved. So I'm like in my own apartment now.
It looks very
It's
cozy.
So cute.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, in a completely different state. And I hadn't talked to him since he texted me on my graduation. And then he randomly like sent me money for coffee, like a couple of days after I moved. And I texted him, I was like, what is this for? He's like, I just wanted to let you know that like, I'm so proud of you, blah, 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 things like that. And so like, it's always, the conversations that we've had have been really short, but he's initiated it. So okay. I guess that means he's not like freaked out by me, like I guess having a major crush on me or crush on him since like I was 19. But I think now that like I've come away from it and from like the relationship, I realized like it was basically all in my head. But like I've
been there. I've been there.
Yeah. I still really care for him and I think he's a great friend and I do want to like stay friends with him. And I think the one thing that like I romanticized was that I think him as a person is what I would look for in a person as a relationship, but we just like don't click that way, which I mean, I've had to like come to terms with before. And I guess I still like was harboring some of those feelings. But even though like, I don't know, we're still good friends though, I guess, because he still talks to me. So I guess that's a good sign.
He's sending you money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent me money. That was so unexpected. So I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is going on? So I texted him. He was like, I just want to let you know that I'm so proud of you. And I was like,
that is,
okay,
yeah, it's really nice. Damn.
Yeah.
Were you annoyed at all? Like when he like, because I think you have such a good, and it makes sense that like this, not that it was like all in your head or whatever, but like we romanticize people and like he's like the alternate reality version of the person you would want to end up with. And so like you kind of just put him in that spot for the time being. But do you have like, I mean, I guess you guys are such good friends. You don't have any ick at all now? Like now that you're gone and separated from the situation, like do you have any ick or it's just like, oh, full friendship?
No, I don't have any ick. I think right now I don't have any ick. If I were to like see him in person again, maybe, I don't know. Or I'd kind of just be like, I'm just going to keep my distance just so I don't like fall into anything again. But no, I definitely think that like I still would like to be good friends with him. And I think we still are good friends. Like nothing's like, he didn't seem to be angry or like wanted to like distance himself or whatever. But yeah, I just like, I think it was just the brain.
Oh my God. This is a good result.
This is great.
Good result. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have a question though. I think you mentioned that when you guys went on the trip, you were acting coupley. You said that, right? What did you mean by that?
It was like, I don't know. So I thought about this too, because I think Melissa, I think you said this. It was like, if I were to switch it out with someone else and go on the trip, would it be the same? And I feel like for me, it would be different. Like it'd be a completely different trip. But for him, if he were to switch me out with someone else, it would be like the same thing. And it was like, we weren't like cuddling or anything, but we're always like close. Like because we are close. So we're always just like, you know, like close.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah.
And
those
then
like chase,
actually no.
like glances and
I would die.
I know.
I would die. I'm happy for you. And you have like, you know, new place, like new city, like all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And now like new people to date. New crushes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love new crushes.
Me too.
That's so fun. And you're like, oh, butterflies. Like, are they going to text me? Like, oh, that's the best part.
Yeah.
I haven't done that in so long. So that's what I'm hoping for.
You just graduated from college, right?
Yeah.
It's new. Now you're entering into adulthood crushes.
Oh, yeah.
Funny. It's fun.
Well, I start my job next week, so
don't crush on anybody at work.
Oh no,
as
there's no one too, so that's good.
Okay,
great. As someone who did that, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Yeah, they're all way older or women, so
okay,
perfect. Great. Absolutely perfect. Well, thank you so much for giving the update. This was great. This makes me feel like we're starting off on such a good foot.
I'm like smiling.
Thank you.
Of course. Have a fantastic day, and thanks for listening to the podcast and everything.
Thank you. Of course, y'all are amazing, and I love.
Thanks. That makes us happy.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Have a good day.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Great update.
Love it.
Absolutely love it. Did not think it would go
it went
this way.
And then you found out you don't actually like the person.
That is like, that's the real shit. That is what happens. And that is like the big, people always talk about like, what's the biggest issue of, or like the pitfalls of like liking a friend. It's actually, I don't think it is actually like ruining your friendship if you break up. I think the issue is not actually like liking them. Because like it clouds it so fucking much.
And then you also like, I feel like when you like someone a lot and you're trying to hide your feelings, you're never your true self around them anyway. So you're always like trying to put like your best foot forth, plus trying to flirt, but also trying to hide.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to be yourself as it is. So
no. Yeah. As somebody who is really only my serious relationships were all with people I was friends with first. But like, yeah, it is like, it's fucking weird. But we've all been there where we think we like someone.
Then you tell them. She took time, which I think is smart.
I think it is too.
And you're like, I actually don't You're just a really good friend.
Yeah. And it's probably proximity, but thankfully he didn't have feelings for her. And then you don't figure out that you don't like them.
I think he does now.
At that point.
I didn't want to say it.
I low-key think that too. Well, she's going to listen to this now and then be like, bitches, why didn't you fucking say that to me?
Because she's in such a good place. I don't want to.
Yeah. The money thing.
Yeah.
It's the money thing.
Mm-hmm. Also just popping up and checking in.
I know. And like also what I was going through in my head, because I was like, sounds like he likes you. But at the same time, like I'm like, would I do that would I find it weird if like my guy friends did that or I did that too? And I would say no, but
was he doing it before?
That's what, but like if the conversation wasn't there, like if I were him, I would be like so conscious of everything I'm doing to like not give the wrong idea. Mm-hmm. And so like, I'm like, so are you trying to give the hint that you're in? Or you maybe just, you aren't thinking about that?
We'll see.
We will see.
But she's moved anyway, so.
Yeah. Cute apartment too.
Yeah.
Very cute. We should have asked for a tour.
Should have asked for her pillows because that couch looked comfortable as fuck.
Oh my, and the yellowy ones, I loved them.
Yeah.
We should have asked. I was going to ask if the plant was real too.
Hi, Megan and Melissa. So I am 24 and I got out of a relationship on literally March 5th, 2020. So the timing of that, we broke up and then went straight into quarantine and I basically didn't leave my house for a year. So obviously that was a pretty difficult time to be coming out of a breakup because I couldn't just go out and like hook up with other people and get over him, whatever. So it took a really long time for me to finally get over him. And, you know, I thought forever, like I'm never going to love anybody else. But then finally, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, I met this guy on Hinge and he was the first person that I've had any feelings for since my ex. Like we clicked immediately. He's the first person that I could ever like see myself dating again since my ex. And things have been going really well between us. We're both vaccinated, so, you know, we've been seeing each other safely, etc. And I just have a big crush. I like him a lot, but I hate the face that he makes when he comes. Like this is so evil and mean to say, but like, I hate the face he makes and the sound he makes when he comes. And it makes me like so turned off during sex, and I don't know what to do about it because I like everything about him. I like him so much, and he's the first person that I felt this way about in such a long time. But I really like the sex thing is starting to drive me crazy. What do I do? Thank you. Bye.
I mean, I think that you probably don't actually like him this much. Like this is like, I think this is like an ick. And for me, when I get an ick, I'm out. Like I don't work through icks. But the other thing is maybe it's the more mature thing to work through an ick and you just close your eyes and listen to music.
I was going to say you can close your eyes, but it's the noises. So, like, I'm taking it you haven't got off by this time? Because I feel like if you've already gotten off, then it doesn't matter what noise you make. Because you're already done. But if he's taking you out of the moment and you're completely thrown off and, like, dried up because of the noises that he's making, then that's where the issue comes in.
I wish we knew the noise. In the face. Because that's what I mean. I'm like,
that's what he's doing.
He just turns into like Land Before Time. Like it's because like I will say like I've like hooked up with guys or whatever that like it's fun. Like I can laugh, like not laugh at them, but like it doesn't take me out of it or make me like less attracted to them. But it's like oh, that's a loud noise or that's like a startling. But I would have to assume it's really bad because like there's no offense if there's any people with penises watching. The spectrum of what it is, like if it's like so insane that like it makes you like so turned off and it's so out of the norm, that has to be
awful.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. But I just think that, I don't know. I think maybe you like him a lot more on paper and in theory than you do like practically. And because this to me would ruin all of sex. And then you are just friends.
Because you know it's coming.
Yeah, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean though? Like, it seems like...
I don't know. I think maybe because you can really like someone. Like, you can like them and then they could be bad at sex. You know what I mean? Or you can really like someone and they just make weird noises. Or like you just get annoyed because of the way they chew their food.
But do you still like them?
You could.
Yeah.
Like, is the sex good?
That's what I wonder.
I think that's a big part of it that we're missing. Like, is the sex like good enough that it's worth it? And it doesn't seem like it is.
No. And this seems like, I get like you get annoyed with your partner. Like there's certain things or whatever that you're like, oh my gosh, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like gross. But it's not really that early on.
Yeah.
And like any time that there's like a big ick really early on, to me, I'm like, this might just be a sign that you're not that into them or like this isn't it. And this isn't like a character flaw. It's literally the definition of an ick. Like this isn't, hi, I don't want you to do this. This is like an unhygienic or problematic thing that you're doing. I don't like the sound.
The sound that you make when you come, or the face that you make. The face, like I said, that's easy.
I'm picturing it like his tongue,
his tongue comes out and it curves.
Yeah.
You gotta explain it to the
podcast.
people.
So, think of the SpongeBob face that he does, where he's like catching butterflies. He's like, where like the lips are pursed, the tongue is out and curved upwards. That's what I'm thinking.
And you had your head thrown back a little bit.
Yeah. Or is it weird if he's like?
I'm just like in different positions. Maybe he just hits it from the back.
Yeah.
And then you put in. I don't know. Is the sex worth the noises and the...
Because you can't change that. You cannot say anything. Like, that's like... Unless he's like putting on a show.
You put your hand over his mouth when you know he's going to come. Stuff something. What if you're really kinky? Put a ball gag in his mouth. And then, because I don't know, it could be a gutter, like it comes from the back of his throat. Because then that doesn't help. But like if it's something else, get a little kinky and put a ball gag in there.
And unless he's doing something real weird with his eyes, that fixes kind of both.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Imagine it's like the eyes are heavily involved and it's a guttural noise. I'm like, then you
got to put the whole mask on. You've seen those like leather masks.
I die. Yeah, you just have to decide if this is the sex worth, what's better, the sex or you know what I mean, like
everything else.
Yeah. You got to pick and choose because it's, but yeah, it should be like, yeah, I don't know. Like that also like kind of ruins it because like when you get someone off, you're like, yay, great, this is hot, awesome, go me. But imagining like the anticipation of like, ugh.
Yeah.
Don't do it. But we would love if you could, I mean, obviously give us an update, but if you could specifically maybe slide a photo into our DMs of you recreating the face and a voice memo, an audio message on Instagram with the noise or slide into our email, anything.
Please let us know.
We would love to know what it is. And then we can give everybody an update.
Oh, speaking of email, this had nothing to do with this call. And I haven't told you about this, but this girl keeps sending us, she has this long story talking about how she likes us, whatever. I didn't read it because it's like 10 million paragraphs, but there's a dick pic in it.
What?
And she didn't ask. And she sent it twice because I think she thought I didn't see it the first time and I ignored it. But she sent the exact same email twice.
And it's not the dick pic.
No, it's a different. But I didn't know there was a dick pic in there. And
see, that's not fair.
That's not fair. If dick pics, you have to ask. When she showed me that weird dick pic that was sent to her, she asked me before she sent it.
I said, do you want to see the dick pic? And you said, I would like to.
Yes.
You have to ask. And like, I will say like on Instagram, people will see DMs like who respond to my dick pic story. Instagram, they filter them. So people will either say like, hey, can I like, I think I got this similar dick pic or like something like, can I send this to you? Or it's already automatically censored in there. And then you give a warning of open at your own if you want. But at the same time, that shouldn't be that. You gotta
Yeah, you always have to ask no matter what, even if it's girl to girl, you still need to ask.
Yeah, even if we're both going to be shitting on it, like,
Yeah.
not literally shitting on it, but we're both going to be like, fuck this dick pic.
Yeah.
You got to, so I don't want to, I don't care if it's attached to you or not attached to you. Like, you need some consent.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
That is the only other time I've gotten a dick pic besides the time that it happened before was in my email.
Yeah, the
What a
one
weird
with
place. With the gingham button-down shirt.
You said it was very artful.
It was. He made a little tent with his shirt running around and framed his penis perfectly. It was weird. Well, should we get on to the next call?
Hi, Megan and Melissa. I need to know if I'm the asshole. I was on vacation with my best friends who are married in Orlando. On the day we left Orlando, as I'm in the middle of trying to load the car so that we could head to my vacation house in Pensacola, my friend's wife walked off from the car and told me to watch the child. He began screaming. It is important to note she did not ask me to watch him. She just told me to. And these kids always start screaming the moment she walks off. It is also important to note that these kids do not even listen to their parents. So I waited with the screaming kid, trying to keep him calm until she came back, at which point I asked her, why the fuck would you leave me with him? He's your kid. I apologized for this, however, later on, and she threw a fit saying she didn't want to hear it. Upon arriving to Pensacola, she acted like a total bitch about being there and was rude the entire day, including screaming about not wanting to be there. We stayed one night and she convinced her husband it was time to leave. The trip was supposed to last another 6 days, and I am unhappy about how she acted, both her ending the trip early and her screaming. So I blocked her on Facebook. Her and her husband and I are still talking, and he is trying to mend things. However, she is mad that I blocked her, and she feels blameless. I feel I may have been more guilty that morning, as I should not have cussed at her. However, I feel that line was crossed when she was rude to me in my own home for an entire day and ended the trip early because she was having a temper tantrum. I'd appreciate your guys' thoughts on this. Thank you. Goodbye.
I mean, neither of us have kids, so I think this is like a weird, like...
Yeah. I mean, but I do have nieces and nephews. But, like, you don't... where did she go is my question.
Yeah. And how, like...
And it was both of them. It was her and her husband, right? Like, where did they go?
And it doesn't sound like you have kids.
Yeah.
And also, like, the not asking. Like, as somebody who not only babysits, but, like, hey, can you watch him for, like, my nephew? Like, for, like, I'm grabbing him from the car or whatever like that. We're family. And they still, like, ask.
Yeah.
So... I would have been annoyed if I were you too. And I probably would have like, I don't know. I think it's also like she put you in a hard position because if you don't have kids or you're not like, well, like you're not, I don't know, you're not like close with her kids or whatever, that if they're screaming and fighting, like it puts a lot on you to be like, what am I supposed to do? And like, it's hard. Am I making this worse? How old are the kids? Like whatever, all of that kind of stuff.
How many were there?
At least 2.
Yeah.
Because I would have been annoyed. And I think snapping, like, I think it's understandable.
Yeah,
and
especially if they're screaming.
Yeah, it's just
you're
high
not
tension.
the asshole.
No, you're not the asshole. I am just like so confused why that was her reaction. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like she didn't hire you for a babysitter. You guys were going to your vacation house.
I mean, it just sounds like she was embarrassed and like decided to be pissed instead of embarrassed.
I would be pissed. I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
They ruined, like, did you have to drive back with them? Or did you get to stay at your vacation house?
And they went back.
They went however they went.
Yeah, that's so weird to me. I think that like you've said that her husband is your friend specifically of that. And like, he's trying to mend it. I mean, I think that like, if she wants to like swallow her pride and like be okay eventually, like fine. It doesn't sound like you're holding a massive grudge towards her. It sounds like, yeah, she just was like, ruined your beach vacation, was like shitty when you were there, and so you're like, fuck you, I don't want to see you on Facebook anymore. But I mean, I think like if I were you, I don't think you're the asshole at all, but if I were you, I would like ask your friend, like, you want to maintain the relationship with him, what should I, are we good?
Right.
Is there anything else I need to do? Or like, we okay from like where this goes forward? Weird.
So weird.
We are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
All right. Well, we're back.
So sorry, we got a little distracted
by my new crush.
Yeah. And then it leaps us into other things that we then have to look up. And then suddenly we're looking up Joe Biden's behind. Not his ass. Oh, no. We're looking at the back of Joe Biden's head.
Yes. All right. Next call.
Hi. So I've been listening to your podcast for, I think, since the beginning, and I'm just now calling for the first time, so I'm a little nervous. To start, I'm 24. I'm a Virgo, so I have notes, but I also have ADHD, so buckle up. A little bit of background. I just got out of a 3-year-long abusive relationship at the beginning of December. So since then, I've gotten vaccinated and have been a little bit of a hoe. We love that for me. Also, another, I guess, detail, I used to work at a law office when I was in college, and that kind of comes into play in the story. Basically, like a month and a half ago, I got a DUS. I'd never been in trouble before, so I called said law office. They ended up getting the case dismissed and doing it pro bono for me. That was awesome. And then fast forward to like last Friday, I was out at the bar with my friends, ended up seeing a guy like across the way that I thought was super hot. Ended up going up and talking to him. We talked for I think 3 hours, literally until bar closed. In said conversation, I ended up finding out that he is actually my lawyer's ex-husband. They have a kid together. They're still in contact. They've been divorced for 6 years because she actually had an affair with another attorney that I worked for at said law office. Basically, the night ends. I end up hooking up with this guy, and now that I'm sober, kind of freaking out. I really don't want her to find out, being that she just did me a huge favor. Also, she knows my dad, so if she were to find out, that would probably get back to my parents. The guy was 42, and I'm 24. I really don't know what to do. Yeah, I'm a little bit stressed. Thanks.
What does DUS stand for?
Oh, yeah. Will you look that up? Driving under suspension.
So your license has already been suspended?
For what?
And you were driving.
Why would you get a license suspended?
Because it could have been you got a ticket and you didn't show up for court. It could be she could have been driving drunk and then got her license taken away. And she was driving.
Which I think, in some states you just go straight to jail at that point. I guess what I'm wondering is what were they involved the first time that for the reason why the license was revoked or suspended?
I don't know, but
she also intentionally didn't include the story of it because
I'm if she was driving before and was maybe under the influence before and got her license taken away, and now she's sober, and now she is drinking and then hooking up with this guy, and then she gets sober and realizes that she made a mistake. I don't know if based on the information, maybe you have a substance problem.
Yeah. Well, because I'm going to say that the decision to hook up with a 42-year-old man when you are 24, not only is it just a 40-year-old man, it's someone who is not only from your a part of your old workplace, but the people who have just bailed you out of a really shitty situation. that to me is like intentionally bringing chaos into your life. It is. It's fully self-sabotage.
But like your direct lawyer, because she said her lawyer, who also knows your dad, and then he tried to sympathize with you by telling you that she slept with somebody else. I don't buy it. Even if it happened, he didn't have to share it. Well, he said it to be a predator against you.
Well, he said it to get you. Yeah, he said it to make it more okay, like make it to sell him, to be like, oh, you should date me. It's like the same thing when people who are like in relationships, like, oh, but like we're gonna break up, or like my girlfriend's so mean to me, or like my boyfriend's so like blah blah blah. Like they create this window to make you feel morally like, oh, this is okay. But all of these things added up to me. I'm like, this is like a self-inventory time. I don't know if you're in therapy, but I would definitely go to therapy. I mean, I don't know. Is this law stuff, like, is this done? Like, do you still have work to be done? Have they finished, completed doing all of this? Do you know what I mean? Like, because my question would then be,
I think they're probably not done, because she said my lawyer, like as if this is something that's revolving.
I don't know, because I think that like it's really 50-50 chance. Like if this guy is like a piece of shit, or not even necessarily like he's just like vindictive, which it kind of sounds like he is for saying that stuff about his ex-wife. It sounds, there's a high likelihood that he will tell her, and you have to decide, would it be better coming from you or him? And you also don't have to say anything, and then you can hope that he doesn't say something, but like you do run the risk of this blowing up in your face, and like you did know that going into it. And that's why I think that like this is, like I said, like a self-inventory therapy kind of time, because you saw this chaos, it was explained to you, and you walked headfirst into it.
Yeah. I think I would ignore it unless it came up.
Yeah. I mean, I think without a doubt, if like the case is done, you're not working with them anymore, I would without a doubt ignore it, ignore him.
Yeah, you've got to get a new lawyer. I think even if the case isn't done.
Yeah.
Maybe, because now there's like conflict in there. I don't know if that's a problem, but.
Yeah. This is
because if she's still your lawyer and she finds out that this happens, is she still, I don't know what the type of person that she is, but is she still going to be the best person to do the work for you? Because maybe she's vindictive. I don't mean, I don't know. There's a lot of shady lawyers out there, so I don't know.
It's odd. And I will also say, like, I don't want to like sound like I'm downplaying like your worry with this, but like I'm so confused why at any point your dad would find out.
Because he's friends with the
and
lawyer.
That guy would tell him?
No, he's friends with the lady lawyer. So like, what if something happens and then she's like, your daughter slept with my ex-husband?
That's insane. I would also like, if your dad brought that up to you, I would be like, this is 100% therapy time, because like that is like,
I mean, if her dad might bring it up because he's concerned for her.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like if it gets to the point where like it is getting back to I would just assume, hopefully, that the adults, not that you're not an adult, but the 40-year-old adults in the situation, if it ever got back to your, like, it's not going to be, I don't think of it as like a gossipy thing. Like I can't imagine like a friend gossiping to another. Maybe, but like, fuck.
I think she would say it out of concern.
Yeah.
Because if she's already helped you with the DUS, it would be like and she probably like, I'm guessing since her dad knows the lawyer, she probably like her dad probably helped her get the job at the place.
Oh yeah. Well, because then my whole thing that boils down to is your fear of your dad finding out. You're right. I don't think it would be gossip. I think your dad would find out because he'd be concerned. And like, why, if you were standing by your decisions and knowing that you were making like good choices, like you would not You know what I mean? Like, even if you make something that like your parents don't agree with or whatever, but you're like, my choice, like my whole thing or whatever, it sounds like you are you worried because you think he will be concerned and like something is up or whatever?
Yeah. I'm concerned for her.
Me too.
I think you can have a hoe phase, but you should be doing it with a sound mind.
Well, hoe and hoe safely. And this
is not hoeing safely.
Not even just like physical safety, but like for your mental health and all of this stuff. Like you are picking and choosing 42-year-old men should never be sleeping with 24-year-olds. That's not on you at all. But the thing that is concerning to me is that these personal connections there.
And you knew that they were there.
And they pose a massive risk. So this is not how like a hoe phase goes. And you said you like pretty recently, December, ended the 3-year abusive relationship. And I don't know if you're in therapy, but if this has been sometimes people who like go through like really rough stuff, like, I mean, I even find that with like things that feel quote unquote more mundane. I'm like, my therapist, like whatever, but we talk about more. If you're not talking to your therapist about this, if you do have a therapist, like you really should, because this is not
something you should be taking lightly at all. Because I think that you're okaying the whole phase by also drinking on top of it. Which if you're, like she said, you need to hoe safely and you should be more of a sound mind while doing this. And I don't think that you should, like a little alcohol is okay, but if you're drunk enough where you're making a decision that you wouldn't have made sober, then you need to reevaluate how you are going through your whole phase. So I think that therapy, if you're not already in therapy, talking about this 3-year-long abusive relationship you're in, and then other ways that you've been coping since then, then these are discussions that you should be having with your therapist.
Yeah, because it is not any time that there's like a massive, like, I mean, this is the power dynamic. This man should have never slept with you. And it's not on you in that sense, but like there is
some responsibility.
There is some, again, like the self-inventory that it's like, you know, not to make light of it, but like, you know, in those movies where it's like record scratch, how did I end up here? And it's like in these situations where your decision making is impaired, and that can be like alcohol, it can be trauma, it can just be like a bunch of other things that are like playing a part in all of that. And it can just lead to some, like this specifically is like a really intentionally risky situation, especially with your future and like what this could be. And subconsciously, I think that you wanted that. And maybe subconsciously, like you're not doing well and your parents think that you're doing fine. Like maybe subconsciously you are trying to create some chaos in your life because you don't feel comfortable opening up to people that you're not doing super great. And you need, I hate to use the term like a cry for help or whatever, because that sounds really thought out and intentional. But
it could be an unintentional cry for help.
Yeah, like something in the sense that like you are not doing great and you don't know how, you don't know that. And so you're making these decisions that will inevitably cause all of this risk and harm, which also is, again, the cycle of trauma of like putting yourself in things that will inevitably blow up in your face because it's like what you think you deserve or like what you're used to, all of that kind of stuff. But this is like, and especially like, I cannot stress this enough. If the reason why your license was suspended was anything related to alcohol or drugs or substance abuse or anything like that, you said you were at a bar with a friend, tell a friend. If you're not comfortable attending like a meeting or having like talk to your friends and have them be aware of that kind of thing. And even if it's just like mental health wise, if you're going through something, like make sure that you tell somebody.
Someone that you trust that's going, because it could be a friend that also makes bad decisions.
Yeah, where was your friend?
Probably hooking up with his friend.
Yeah. And I'm all for a hoe phase. And I will reiterate till the end of time. Do not sleep with men twice your age for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
especially if they're connected with people that are helping you get out of a law.
And even then, don't even do it for money.
Yeah.
Because that seems illegal. Well, I hope that you are not angry with us for the tough love.
Yeah. I'm just concerned.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I'm calling in because I am currently in a relationship with a guy who is a very, I guess I'm just going to say moody guy. I love him a lot, but I'm a very anxious person, and I'm the kind of person who, if anyone's in a bad mood, I want to try to fix it. And as much fun as I have with this guy most of the time, when he is in a bad mood, I find myself constantly trying to fix it to the point where I am just not being kind to myself about it. And the advice I need is this a relationship that I should just end, or is this a relationship that I should continue to pursue while working on my own issues with taking his mood swings personally and, I guess, internalizing them to make them about me when it's really nothing to do with me a lot of the time. So I don't know. I just need some advice. I'm not sure what to do. I have friends telling me I need to break up with him. They think he's a jerk, but I don't think he's a jerk. I think he's just moody. I don't know. I don't know if this is normal or not. Anyway, I would just love some advice on that. Thank you all so much in advance. Bye.
Until you said your friends think he's a jerk, I think two things can be happening at the same time. He can be moody and he can also be a jerk.
And just because you're working on your own issues doesn't mean that you need to work on his issues too.
Yeah. So Mott's is a fixer, like the definition of a fixer. And this is something that we work on all the time in therapy. And this is something that we've gotten a lot better with, that he is someone, not in the sense that takes on, we both are very, I take on other people's moods and I will feel really want to cheer them up or whatever. But he's specifically we've talked this before, he's a game plan, fix this. How can we do this and that? And the beginning of this call made me kind of think that that's what this was going to be. And I was well, from his side, as someone when I'm in a bad mood or I'm feeling shitty, having someone try and fix it isn't helpful to me and can be really frustrating. And then I can get irritable with that person. But there is communication there. And Mats knows that this is not what is helpful for me. But now that you've said that your friends think he's a jerk, and now knowing that your specific word choice with moody makes me think he's an asshole.
Yeah, it makes me think he's an asshole. And I also think that you think because you're in therapy and you're working on yourself that you deserve to be with somebody that isn't great,
it's oh, great, perfect time to practice.
And also I'm not great, so he doesn't have to be great.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is
this relationship serving you? Do you enjoy being in the relationship? And once you've worked through your own issues, do you think you're still going to want to be with him? And is he actively working on himself?
Yeah, because I guess I think the word choice of moody now, that you can be in I wouldn't call someone who's in a bad mood a moody person. I also wouldn't call someone who's depressed moody.
Yeah, moody is a temporary state.
And moody is it's what a fucking disgruntled boomer describes their teenager as a personal attack.
Yes.
Moody feels, not that I'm saying that you're doing anything wrong at all, but this might be fucking with your head, because moody does feel personal. Moody is kind of it's the more lethargic version of snappy.
Yeah.
It does feel like a response. And I wonder if you feel like this is something, like you said, that you've been working on, but this is like a problem that you've had, and that you're interpreting this as, oh, this is a great practice for me, and this is something that I really need to work through. And this actually isn't that. And he is just a jerk, but you're seeing it because you're working on yourself through that like lens. So yeah, I think also just because you didn't give us like any details of like the communication you've had with him about this and like conversations makes me think that he is a,
if all your friends see it, it's, for me, it's like, I'm working on myself, so it's okay for him to be like that.
Yeah. And unless there's like some serious communication between you and him that you haven't like disclosed in the call, I feel like you would have disclosed it if it like was there. But if it's like a sulking, I'm moody, I'm doing my own thing, like I don't want to talk about it, there's no like boundaries of like, hey, I'm feeling depressed, and like this is like what, like I need some space, and like blah blah blah. If you are still getting in your head and being really anxious about like, oh, is this my fault, blah blah blah, it sounds like you're having this entire dialogue with yourself and not him. And if he can visibly see that you are like getting anxious or upset or something like that, and he's just like, okay, cool, I just don't think he cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he support you? I'm not talking about like financially. I'm just talking about support you as a partner.
Okay, now it is time for Don't Blame Them. This is where a listener will call in and give their own advice on a call that we have previously had on an episode. So maybe they have personal experience, maybe they heard something or thought of something that we didn't, or maybe they, like us, love the sound of their own voice and their own opinions. No shame.
No shame at all. This person gives all the details in their call. So I'll just play it.
Hi, I'm calling in with a Don't Blame Them. This is for season 8, episode 4. This is the girl who found out her friend lied about getting COVID tested. So I'm going to state this first off. I am also non-confrontational unless I need to be. And I am the friend that, like, people send me things to make sure they're not being a bitch. So when I say this girl is not your friend, she's not your fucking friend. This girl put your health, her health, and the health of all of your other friends in jeopardy. She does not respect you. She does not respect your friends. She does not respect your friendship. If you need to keep this friendship for whatever reason, you still need to tell her that she fucked up and what she did is not acceptable. I don't care if it's a political issue. This is just basic human respect. If you need to get your other friends that went on the trip to support you, do that. But you need to fucking tell her, and you need to make her understand that what she did put all of your health in, like, your lives in jeopardy just because she couldn't be bothered to go get a fucking test. It's bullshit. That's all I have to say on this. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.
I love when non-confrontational people like have their thing, or they have like their threshold, and then they snap. I love that shit.
I do too. I think she was spot on with everything she said. And that actually brings me to a review that someone left for us.
Toxic.
This is in direct response to this call.
I hate everybody with that name.
I mean, this is public, so you can say it. So I usually do not like to read negative reviews, but I think this is called for just because you don't owe being nice to anyone when they're putting your health at risk.
You don't owe nice to anyone point blank.
Yeah, point blank, but especially if they're point. So someone left and I think this is something that we can all like learn from. They left a review.
Do you think this is from
because
call?
We said that I said I don't know how to be nice.
Yeah, so you think this one is in response to this call. Yeah. Okay.
So they're saying taking pride in being mean. I said that when we did the call. So this toxic advice. I used to be a huge fan of this podcast, but the advice has really taken a turn from what it was. It encourages toxic behavior and vilifies the person the caller's story question is centered around. Sad to hear the host taking pride in being mean and bullying others. So when the call came through, I had said, because the original caller said, I want to still be nice when I confront her. And I had said, we're not the nice people to be calling. I usually have one of my sisters read like emails when I'm supposed to be nice to someone. So I feel like this is a direct.
No, you're right.
You never being this. We didn't give toxic advice. The girl literally put everyone's health in.
And also,
jeopardy.
that's not even the caller.
No.
Like, why? And that's the always thing I'm like, okay, you heard yourself in the caller's friend, and you are upset about that because you don't want, when you inevitably have or will do that to somebody else, you want to be met with sunshine and rainbows. Like, you don't want that. Yeah, I'm dying. Encourages toxic behavior. This is not call her daddy.
No. And we're not, if someone is putting your health at risk, you don't owe them anything. You call them, and it's not even about calling someone out. It's about calling them in.
Yeah.
You call someone in when they're in the wrong, and you're telling them this was wrong. You shouldn't have done this, period.
I hate when people police reactions, because I'm like, if you wanted to ensure that there was going to be, like, if you want to be able to control the reaction and make sure there's all pleasantries and all of that stuff, then you shouldn't have done that. Like, I'm allowed to react however I choose to this thing that you have done or said or whatever, and being like aghast or like, oh my gosh, too far with the reaction. You can't control my reaction, but you can control the shit that you do.
Yeah.
Point blank. Yeah. And I mean, for the taking pride in being mean and bullying, I always get people, that's why I had to put it in my Twitter bio where I said, "We'll bully you." Bullying exists without a doubt, as somebody who got bullied and like dropped out of college, all of that kind of stuff. It reminds me a lot of the cancel culture argument or whatever of like bullying, again, in response to other people's actions and the shit that they've done, that it suddenly becomes a personal attack as if what they did was not a personal attack. And that shit always pisses me off. Because I'm like, yeah, if you're bullying, like, yeah, kicking a kid while they're down, doing anything like that. But like how you respond and react to someone who's done something problematic or dangerous or fucking hurtful or anything like that, that is by design not bullying.
Yep.
It doesn't bother.
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me. That's the other thing that I'm like,
I just think that a lot of people think that you, especially women, think that you have to be nice to get your point across, and you need to be respectful for people even though they disrespected you.
No. I'm like,
it's disrespecting yourself if you go there and you take a different attitude than they have, you know?
It's so fucked, because like it is, that person I deserve to be treated like that by this person. The person who is like saying some nasty shit or doing some stupid shit, getting offended when someone reacts away. It's like, I can treat you like that, but you can't treat me like that. And I'm like, you created the energy. Dish it right back.
Right.
Absolutely right back. And again, yeah, I hate this whole like, I don't know, crying, bullying, and like all of this kind of shit, because like it's, if someone does something fucked up and you tell them, like, tell me what the right way to say it is without backtracking. Like, what do you think it should be?
Yeah.
Or being like, well, don't stoop. I also hate the don't stoop to that person's level. And I'm like, if you're going to be an asshole to me, I don't have to be an asshole to you. If that's not something that serves you or not what makes you feel right in the situation, or is not how you would want to react, but like, don't censor or like water down your reaction to be more tolerable to them.
I'm not Michelle Obama. If they go low, I'm going to the fucking gutter.
Have you seen that TikTok? There's like one guy who says that. He was like, I'm so sorry, Michelle Obama, but when they go low, I do not go high. I go low. I go 6 feet under. It was like all of that. I was like, that is me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's my prerogative.
If you want to hear Michelle Obama, go listen to her podcast.
Which
I love her and I listen to her too, but like,
the world needs everyone.
That's not who I am.
And also, we're like not mean. I mean, if you ask people who I've been mean to,
I'm going to be mean to somebody because they were mean to me.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to go out of my way to be mean to someone.
No, unless I was in middle school, and that's because I was a cunt. But like,
you've grown up.
Thank God. Thankfully, a lot of therapy. But yeah, like this, yeah, don't even get me started because this gets me on the whole gooby humor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a live show here in a few minutes.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, speaking of, if you want to join our Patreon, please do. We are literally going to hop on our Zoom that we have twice a month, $5 tier, also $1 video. You can pay and see what the thing we hinted at the beginning. With your eyeballs. And if you want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. International listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. All the same rules, regulations, and requests apply. Practice, keep it under 3 minutes, 18 or over, have your parents' permission, and let us know your pronouns. Leave us a review. Anything else? If you got an update, shoot us an email.
Yeah, that's it. You want to promote anything?
Do I want to promote anything? I've got a book, my presets for your hot summer photos, and my YouTube channel and my TikTok. Or my Twitter or my Insta, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just follow me. What about you?
Go check out The Salon with Lala Milan podcast that I produce. We've been on hiatus. We just came back from this the previous week, but the episode that's out today,
I was gonna ask,
super juicy. Super juicy.
I'm excited. I can't wait to listen to it. That is it, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye. Don't Blame Me is a production by me, executive produced by Melissa DeMonts, edited by Katrina Henning, and music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast, and with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go Network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.